now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without a breaking budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studio, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen over 35 podcast platforms: Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. He's back, ladies and gentlemen, from the New York, New Jersey area. A very popular guest on my program. He's songwriter, guitarist. He's a jazz musician, and just kind of like, bordering on new age and more. And of course, if you listen to the previous interviews, I mean, he had a very interesting background and where he grew up, and simply just taking awards like crazy. He's been nominated for the East Coast Music Hall of Fame, and also up for a couple of awards like the International Singers and Songwriters Association. He's also in the category for Male Songwriter of the Year. And I mean, his trophy case is so big. And hey, will you quiet down over there? We're trying to do an interview, and yeah, I mean, people just have no sense building more trophies for this guy. And he's got a new album out called Family Concept, and the family's involved in this. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the beautiful Jersey Shore, ladies and gentlemen, Frank Piombo returns. Frank, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us once again.
Well, thank you so much. First of all, I have to ask how you and your family are doing with this whole thing going on. And I hope everything's fine with you.
Well, we're doing pretty good by the grace of God. I have to say this is that, we're pretty well protected up where we're at. Of course, our thoughts and prayers are going out to you guys in the New York, New Jersey area for the latest pandemic. But of course, our numbers are relatively small compared to everywhere else. But we feel it's a really big number. But we're fortunate in a remote county where we're at. It's just with one person right now. We can use all the safety and protection we can get at this time.
Yes. God willing, will be short-lived and we can move on. But I want to thank you. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. I know that the last time I was here, I was talking about the release of my album, which should have been in January, but because of what's going on and stuff like that, it got released in March. So the album is now released, and as you announced it, it's called Family Concept. The only thing is I have to correct you on is that I was short 3 minutes of it becoming an album, so I have to call it an EP.
An EP, okay, got it. All right, we'll make note of it. So it's like an EP, but still a good family concept. I like that. Still having family involved, which is good. So
yeah, extended play. I missed it by 3 minutes. It has 6 tracks on it. Like I mentioned, it's every song on the track on the album has to do with someone in my family or the love of family and friends. It was a great project. It took me a year to get through this. It was very carefully planned and on purpose, so it would have this theme. So it has 6 tracks, and I just released the single about a month and a half ago to the airways, to the radio stations, and that's called Green Lights and Rainbows. So if I may speak a minute on that, I wrote that song, and it's 2 versions, Michael. On you don't mind if I call you Michael sometimes, right?
It doesn't matter. You can call me Michael. You can call me Mike. Just don't call me late for dinner.
That's the way I feel. So anyway, so I my brother-in-law Tony Monfiletto passed away my wife's brother in September with pancreatic cancer. So I wrote the song and I named it Green Lights and Rainbows because a few months before he passed, he sent a letter out to all his family, and the letter was entitled Green Lights and Rainbows, meaning that no matter what's going on in your life, just keep going. Go through the green lights, look for the rainbows. There's something better on the other side. So I got a little cherry on that. I said to my wife, I said, I have to write a song for Tony. So I wrote Green Lights and Rainbows. I wrote two versions of it, instrumental version and a vocal version. And the words that I wrote to it are really pretty, and it expresses my brother-in-law's life and the way he felt. So, and that's released as a single, and Mike, it's doing very well. It's being played all over the world, and I'm so happy because it's all about my brother-in-law, and not me, but my brother-in-law. Uh-huh. And the other thing I put out to the public is that all the proceeds of that single is going to go to the University of New Mexico Cancer Center Research Foundation. That's where my brother-in-law tried these new trials while he was still alive, and they helped him quite a bit and extended his life a year and a half, which for that type of cancer, it's a pretty good run. You know what I'm saying? So that's the track, and later on I can play it for you, and maybe let the public kind of hear it on here, because I didn't release that particular one as a single. I released the instrumental one, but this one is going to be released next. And it had the album itself had two great reviews, Mike. One by Hans Bernd Holzmann in Germany. He speaks very well of the album, the EP, and the other one by Mixer Reviews. Great review by both of those people. And the other thing I wanted to mention is the EP is now on the Armenia Records label. So as I spoke last time, I think I mentioned Joe Armenio. He runs the recording studio that I recorded this album, and he started his own label. So we put this first EP on his record label. It's called Armenio Records, and Joey Armenio and Jake. I would call him Jake, but his name is Tom Jacobson. Both of those gentlemen helped me to mix, master, and produce that EP, which is sounding fantastic. Maybe I'm being biased, but I like the sound. Yeah, I have to.
I'm being biased. It's like, it's your working. You say what you want with it. It's great.
I have to say that, but it really does sound great. The sound coming out of that studio was fantastic. So on that particular album, I have some really heavy hitters. Musicians from just around the country. If I can mention some of them, I would like to just, a shout out to Donnie Harold, keyboards on that album, Tom Jacobson, keyboards, percussion, horns, Dom DeGioia, keyboard, strings, Joe Armenio, sax, vocals, and he wanted me to mention Slinky. He plays a Slinky on one of my tracks.
A Slinky? Oh, my gosh. I remember playing as a kid. Slinky, wonderful, wonderful boy. And too bad I don't have one in my studio right now. I could have been playing with it.
I'm telling you, it sounded fantastic on the track. Michael Chavo sang the vocals on Green Lights and Rainbows. Doreen Armenio, which is Joey's wife, did the harmonies on the instrumental and the vocals. In the breakdown, there's a three-part harmony in the instrumental and in the vocal. Sean O'Brien Smith played bass for Billy Ray Cyrus for 15 years, and Kenny Rogers. He's the bass player on a couple of those tracks. Terry Tucker, another bass player from down south. Michael Mahadine, he's my flute player. He played on a couple of the tracks. And I have to mention that my cousin Joseph Hawkins, he's a doctor in Fresno, California, did the front cover picture for me of the album with the mountains in the background. if you saw it, if you haven't seen it yet, it's a beautiful picture, and he's a freelance photographer as well as a medical doctor, and the album design was by Doreen Arminio, which is Joey's wife, and all the other stuff, the liner notes and inner picture was done by Joey Arminio. We did it in the studio with a blue screen in the back. So then we took me and put me right where those mountains are.
Oh my gosh!
Holding my guitar, yes. Because of the virus, I couldn't make it out there, so I had to do it that way. But it's a great album, and it has 6 tracks. The first track is called "Love That Smooth Latte," Nico's theme, which is my grandson. So I had to write one for him because on my last album, I wrote one for my first grandchild, and so I sat down and I said, no, let me write one for Nico, and so that's the first track on there. It's 5 minutes and 22 seconds. It's quite a long song, but it has a lot of instrumentation going on there. It's got piano, it's got saxophone, guitar, and it's just a wonderful tune. When you release singles, you like to keep the better ones for the end. Not that Green Lights and Rainbows is not the best one, but this one here, wait till I release this, you're going to go crazy for it. Green Lights and Rainbows, the instrumental version, is the second track. That's 4 minutes and 7 seconds. Then I had to write one. So my daughter says to me, so Dad, you're writing songs for everybody. What about your kids? So I said, all right, let me sit down. So I wrote a song, and it's called "Song for My Children," and that's the third track, and that's 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Then I said, let me write a song of one of my heroes. His name is Ronnie Jordan. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a guitar jazz player from England that passed away at the age of 53, and he wrote a song that was called "After Hours." So I recorded that, and to me, after hours kind of meant that, you spent the whole day out at work, whatever you do, and when you come home to your family. So so I wrote that for all my family, and then I remixed a song that I recorded 10 years ago, Mike. It was called it was called "Love's the Way." Love is the way. So, and that kind of is dedicated to cousins, friends, other relatives. And what I did with that one is I added saxophone and a Hammond B3 on that. And it sounds pretty. It's a short song. It's 3 minutes and 3 seconds. I think that song stopped it from being an album. if I extended that about 30 seconds more, it would have been called an album. And then the last track is the vocal version of Green Lights and Rainbows, and that's sung by a good friend of mine, Michael Shavo. So that kind of sums it up as far as the album goes. I'm sort of pleased with it, and I took my time with it. It took a whole year because I was really careful in writing the songs. I wanted to make sure that it hit home, and I'm kind of proud of it. And I'm glad that I had my family to back me up on this. My wife, my children, my friends, people like you, Michael, radio stations that have played my song worldwide. I just can't tell you, Australia, England, Italy, just all over the place, and it just made me so happy just to know that I've had that done before, but the one song that I released as a single for Tony, my brother-in-law, which means a lot, probably means a lot more than any other song that I've released as a single. Mm-hmm. For that reason. So the text, if you want me to play, I can play that version for you right now. It's called Green Lights and Rainbows, and it's sung by Michael Shavo.
Oh, you know what? Since you mentioned it, go right ahead on the Mike Wagner Show.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, we're still having some difficulties with it, but we also have an audio version of this edition as well, too. We can go ahead and throw that on, too. And in the meantime, where can we find the Family Concept EP?
You can find... Hold on just a second. I got to make sure that I bring you back on here.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go. Yes, I apologize for that. That's what happens sometimes. Well, even the last time I play live on your show, for some reason, this computer doesn't pick up the audio very well. So where you can find Family Concept is quite a few places. You can get it on Apple Music. You can get it on, I guess, iTunes, which is kind of connected with Apple Music, Amazon MP3. You can stream on Spotify. I have my own radio station, iHeartRadio. You can find the album on there. And also on Pandora Radio, you can find the album on there as well. And just about every other streaming site that's available, it's there. You can still get it on CD Baby, Mike, but you can't buy the physical album anymore on CD Baby because they close shop.
Right.
Yes. The only thing you can do is upload the digital from them, but not because a lot of people are asking me, where do I get the physical CD? And what I try to tell them, I think Amazon MP3, I think might carry them, but the best way to get the physical is to write to me, and I can mail it to you. So my email address is Riggy, that would be R as in Richard, IGGY, entertainment @gmail.com. If they write to me and said they're interested in having, I can autograph it, tell them what it costs, and then I could just mail it out to them. That's one best way to get the physical. If not, if most people are into just, uploading the digital version and putting it on their iPod or iPad and playing it through the radios in the car, or whatever works. But those are the places where you can find it. So once again, I wanted to play so bad for you. I apologize for that. It's the reason is being this computer's kind of old, and it's probably giving you a feedback effect. But that they can get that EP at all those different locations that I just mentioned.
Okay. All right. I think I hear myself at the other end.
Say it again.
I think I hear myself at your end. So you might want to turn that down there. So.
Oh yeah, no, I have it all the way down. Go ahead.
Okay. I think that's better now. Okay. Don't you love this new technology? And you thought we have problems with Zoom? Well, I'll tell you one thing. This is probably just as good as live as we can get here. I'll tell you that here on the Mike Wagner Show.
Yeah. I had put it up because I was playing a song. I forgot to lower it down again, but now it should be okay.
Okay. So yeah. Are you able to play it now, or?
Well, I don't know if you want me to try it again.
You know what? Maybe we can try it later or some, or we can just add, or you can add the song to it later as well too. But first, listen to the mic. Well, by the way, first of all, we're going to talk about, your latest inductions and everything else.
Okay.
Your recent one. But first, you listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look on a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@SonicWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and over 35 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also, follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with songwriter, guitarist, multi-talented musician Frank Piombo here on the Mike Wagner Show with his new EP, Family Concept, which is short of 3 minutes, calling it an album. I still still call it albums for some reason, so I'll make it feel good. And of course, other news is that he got inducted into a certain music Hall of Fame, and he's also being nominated for a Hall of Fame, Songwriter of the Year, Musician of the Year, and Everything of the Year. And of course, he's still in nomination for the East Coast Music Hall of Fame. And I show my support a great deal. I still got it, by the way. and tell us about the latest awards you have. And hey, will you quiet down there? It's like we're trying to do an interview. I know it's like they keep adding awards to your collection here. So it's like it's hard to get these people to stop building while we're doing this.
Mike, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but hey, if you're hearing us out there building, you have to listen to it later.
It's funny. It's kind of embarrassing. Everybody says that to me, award after award. I went to see a friend of mine perform last year, and right on the microphone on the stage, he goes, "Are you still going to be accepting awards?" to me out loud, and I'm going, Mike. I said to him, I says, as long as they give it to me, I'll take them. So,
but there's extras and give it to us and other people too. There's always extras.
we'll send some over to you, Michael.
You got my address.
You got it. But anyway, the Indie Music Hall of Fame award, I received a call in January from Christopher Ewing. He's an Emmy Award winner, and he runs the Indie Music Channel Awards in Hollywood, California, every year, which I've been winning quite a few awards from his company, and I attend that in California almost every year in April. So he calls me, he says, Frank, can I talk to you? And I said, sure. What did I do wrong? I said, nobody calls me from L.A.
What? I'm not guilty. I didn't do it.
I didn't do it, right? I'm innocent. So he says, he said, I don't know if you know, but I started through the city of L.A., I got permission to start, I got a license to start Indie Music Hall of Fame alongside the Indie Music Channel Awards, Music Awards. I says, yeah, I sort of heard about that. He goes, well, the reason I'm calling you is that we have 2,000 applications that we kind of look at. And as far as you're concerned, you never sent an application, but I know of you and I know where you've done. And I wanted to ask you first before I send an email out to you, asking you if you mind if we induct you into the Indie Music Hall of Fame. And I said, I was almost like crying. I'm going like, do I mind? I says, are you kidding? This is what musicians live for. This is what we live for. This is like the ultimate, you know? I says, it's an absolute honor. So he said to me, well, would you like to come out here and perform at the Grammy Museum while you're accepting the award? I says, can't get any better than that, the Grammy Museum. So I booked the airline tickets. I booked the hotel room, and then the virus hits.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. So the virus hits in March. We could kind of, over a little month that we've been going through this. So I get another phone call from Chris. He says, everything's shut down. Everything's shut down here in LA. It was worse than here when it first started. I kind of expected that. So he said, we don't know when the Grammy Museum is going to open again. So at this stage of the game, the show must go on. So we're going to have a virtual awards, music awards / induction ceremony on one of my radio TV stations on May 24th. So on May 24th, he's going to run this television show, and he's going to run the inductions through that. And then what they'll do is they'll mail out your trophy or whatever it is that you're going to receive. Because for him to wait any longer than that, it would interfere with next year's awards. And we don't know when that's going to happen. It can be after the summer, it can be after the fall. So that's how it stands. So I was inducted as Best Jazz Artist into the 2020 Indie Music Hall of Fame. And I'm very excited about that. And I want to thank Chris Ewing, because he's a huge winner himself. He's an Emmy Award winner. And to me, anybody that's on that level and inducts you into another level, I'm honored. So that takes care of that. So, and moving on now, I know you're wearing that wonderful East Coast Music Hall of Fame shirt.
For those who didn't get to see it.
There it goes again. I have to show this to Tommy Patillo. Tommy is the one that last year he nominated me. And I don't know if you know the way it works. If you get nominated in the top 3, you automatically get nominated for the following year.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
I'm in this situation because of that. I didn't know that, but he explained that to me. So last year I was nominated in 3 categories, and this year in 2 categories. And one of them is called Best Music Maker. Mm-hmm. For anybody who wants to vote, because they extended the voting through the end of May. It was through the end of April, now it's through the end of May. And the other one is for Best Music Maker, Jazz, Blues, Swing, Retro. So in those 2 categories, I am running for induction. And so what happens is that it's open to ambassador members, which means that if you pay a $25 minimum fee to join that organization, which the $25 might goes to the building of the museum for the Hall of Fame. It's all going towards that museum. And we're not sure when that's going to happen, because this is another story. This reception was going to be held in June 15th, I believe, at a Harrah's Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. So because of the virus, guess what? It was canceled and postponed.
Oh, my.
Yeah, another one. So this one is being postponed till October. It's going to be held at the same location, but this time it's going to be held in October, hopefully, God willing, if everything works out. Because, pray. Because those functions, when I tell you, there's lots of people there, lots of people. The one I attended last year at Wildwood was the very first one they held. Thousands of people at the convention center. So you don't want that many people close together if this COVID doesn't stop. So we're praying that it's over by October. If not, then you have to play it by ear. So that's something interesting that's another honor in my life, and I want to thank everybody responsible for nominating me there, and all the people that are voting for me, and we'll see what happens. But you know what? If not, Mike, it's just an honor to be nominated, just not to be nominated in 2 categories, and last year in 3. So history has been made just for me being nominated, and which is great. You know, it's funny. I watched the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and a couple of years ago, the Zombies got inducted. I don't know if you watched it. And the Zombies, one of my favorite groups from England from years ago. And when he got up, when one of the guys from the band got up, he said, we had to go through 4 nominations, 4 years in a row to get here. So I said to myself, they were nominated 4 times, and finally they made it. So I said, for a group at that status, they should have made it on the first nomination. But you know what? That's business, and that's whatever it is in that business, and the people that vote for you.
And it's also the time of season, figuratively speaking, too, for the Zombies. It's like, it's the right time of the season, they say. So.
Yeah, great. Michael, that's beautiful. Time of the season. One of my favorite songs ever. So I'm looking forward to that. So something great that's been happening. The other thing that is, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I think it was the tail end of last year. It was a company called Closine International Music Awards. So I received a certificate in the mail. I must have won there for Best Instrumental Song for Rush Hour Funk, which was on my 4th album. So,
wow.
So I just received that certificate. And I think they're located in Europe. I'm not sure exactly where. And they wrote up an article in one of their magazines about me, too, which was great. So I appreciate them. I read the Closine International Music Awards. And just to move it along a little bit, I was just recently nominated because what I did is I joined the International Singers and Songwriters Association about 4 months ago. And I submitted some. They have all our songs, and what happens is they'll have a list of musicians and singers and all different artists from every category, and almost like the Grammys. So you might have in my category 50, 60 people in that particular category. So the way it works for them. And I'm up for a nomination as U.S. Male Songwriter of the Year. Mm-hmm. And what happens is your fans vote for you originally. So, I got out there and I spoke to a lot of people and said, so my daughters, they all went to bat for me. And so they released all the nominees, 15 in each category. I think there might be like 12 or 13 categories. Maybe. Wow. Yeah, so 15 out of each. And I was fortunate enough to be one of the 15 in U.S. Male Songwriters of the Year. So now what happens next, those 15 in each category, they go to a panel of judges. And I believe the judges are people that have won the year prior. Okay, so they become judges and then they listen to the songs. They listen to your music, not only a particular song, but a whole bunch of material that you might have created that's on a particular site. They go there, they listen, and they carefully, they take their time. They have 3 months to choose. And then they'll choose, I guess, one person from every category. And in August, they had their award ceremony in Georgia. So if you get nominated, which I have, you have the opportunity to go out there in August. But once again, who knows what's going to happen in August? So they do have, just like the East Coast Musical Fame, they also have another date they might do in September or October as well. So it's touch and go. It's terrible out there. So we don't know what's going to happen. But as far as I'm concerned, health comes first. Health is first. If you're not healthy, you're not going to be able to do any of that. So everybody should take care of themselves and just keep yourself fit. Wear the mask, wear the gloves, do what you have to do. Distance yourself from people, even though it's a difficult thing for us to do since we're social animals. That people like to socialize.
Exactly. It's like, social distancing. I mean, we're like more than 6 feet apart. We're like, maybe like 6,000 miles or something like that. Or what's that number here we're at and I'm at? That's got to be more than 6 feet. So.
Yeah, it's crazy, and you almost kind of get the shakes, you just want to walk on the street and hug somebody and say, talk to me, it's so crazy. And then, being in the New York, New Jersey area, every time you turn the TV on in the morning, you get to hear the governors. And it's sad to say, but an hour and a half to 2 hours they're on there and talking about, how many people are in the hospital, how many are on ventilators, how many have passed away, and they do the whole statistics, and it's like really sad. And then you go like, when are we ever going to open America again? When?
Right. And I think that's a big question as well, too. And, of course, I heard an ad recently that this one agency is looking for nurses in the tri-state area, and they're willing to pay whatever it takes to bring them out there to New York City. It's just unbelievable. I mean, our thoughts and prayers go out to those who are fighting this pandemic.
Yeah, and you have to give credit to the first responders, everybody out there. There's somebody in our area that's making signs that says, it's a dedication to the first responders, and we all have them on our front lawn. So they should be honored. There should be an award ceremony for them when this is all over.
And something too, speaking of awards, maybe you can give a free concert for the first responders, playing one of the lawns in front of the hospital and having come down. So yeah,
that would be great. You know what? That would be the first thing on my list. So we're just moving along and see how this whole thing ends up. So the other thing I wanted to talk about yesterday, I received another email by the Indie Music Channel Awards this year, not the induction one. This is the parent one that belongs to Christopher Ewing, and they're the ones that judge your songs for this particular year. So, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
So, 3 of my songs on the new album were nominated.
Wow.
3 of my songs in four categories. So let me tell you about it. So Best Jazz Artist. I was nominated for Best Jazz Artist for the song that I wrote for my Love That Smooth Latte that I wrote for my grandson. I was nominated for Best Jazz Artist, and I was also nominated for the same song for Best Jazz Recording.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I was, for the Best Instrumental, I was nominated for Green Lights and Rainbows. Okay. And then for the Best Jazz Song, I was nominated for the song that I wrote for my kids, which is called Song for My Children.
Uh-huh.
So 3 songs in 4 categories. So what happens with that, remember earlier I mentioned that on May 24th they're having the induction ceremony. They also have on that same day the Indie Music Channel Awards. So they'll announce the winners of these particular awards that I just mentioned, as well as the induction inductees. And that's going to happen on the 24th of May. So that's it so far. Other than that, I'm just, I'm just having a great time. I'm still thinking of, writing some more songs by the end of the year. I already have some in my head going through my head, and I have plenty of time to do it. And as far as playing out, I was planning a CD release party with my band, and I had planned it for May, but that's not going to happen. So what I might do, Mike, is have a virtual one on Facebook, and then just invite everybody and find a way to get the audio to work perfectly for me. So you know what really works well for me? I've put some videos up on Facebook through my phone. Phone.
Wow, amazing.
My phone works perfectly. If I record a video on my phone, the audio and the visual works perfectly. If I try to do it on my computer, you might get the visual, but not the audio. See, that's the problem. So I have to work out a way that I might be doing a CD release party on my cell phone and then take that video and post it on Facebook for a watch, like everybody, come in and kind of watch the CD release party. A lot of my music friends that I have in the business, artists, are doing that. They're doing that. They're promoting their music on Facebook and their CD release parties because they have no other choice. They have no other choice. And what I feel bad is that most of my friends are doing this for a living, and they're starving right now. The musicians, they're starving. I'm fortunate enough that I was in education for 30 years, receiving the pension and Social Security. So I don't worry about that, but I do worry about good friends of mine, acquaintances that are in the music business. They're trying to make ends meet. So I'm hoping that the government takes care of them through unemployment, collecting unemployment and sorts. And if this thing could just be short-lived, they can go back out and perform for everybody and start making a living again.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's very important as well, too. We're going to wrap up with Frank Piombo just a minute, but first listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking a budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@SonicWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen to over 35 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device, on iHeart, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Facebook, Spotify, more. And you can also subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We hear a songwriter, guitarist Frank Piombo into various Hall of Fames here on the Mike Wagner Show. And before we wrap up here, I just have one question for you. How many Hall of Fames are currently in right now? And how many nominations have you piled up? And how many awards do you currently have right now? We can take room in your ever-expanding trophy case.
I can't count them. I can't. There's about 20 of them, but every one of them is attached to a different song, which means a lot to me. It's a story of my life. It's another page of my life. Music has always been my passion since I was a young kid. But I was an educator for 30 years, taught mathematics. And not only to kids, but I trained teachers as well in that field. So, you have to listen to a song that I wrote, I guess 7 years ago, and it's called Starry Night. And it's a vocal version of it, and it tells about the stars in the sky, that every star in the sky is a page in a book in your life. So what I tell everybody is that, keep writing your book. Turn the pages, write another page, and keep turning it. Enjoy life, no matter what you do. Music just seems to be my love, and right now, mostly my hobby, because I don't rely on it as an income. So I do consider myself a professional musician, but I gain awards, and I put them on the shelf here, and I look at them and I say, that's not just me up there, Mike. That's people that have recorded on my tracks. Okay, it's people that have recorded my music. It's people that have mixed, mastered, produced my music. It's people like you and old radio personalities that have played my music that makes that possible. It's not just me. I just couldn't do it out by myself. No man is an island. I feel that way. So I'm thankful to everybody out there. My fans, my fans have supported me forever. That purchased my music. They used to come out when they were able to come out and see me perform. I can't speak enough about them. Without them, I would be nobody. So a shout out to everybody out there that have supported me, from my family to my friends. Friends/family, because a lot of my fans are my family, so it's hard to separate. But that's about it. That is the bottom line. That's the bottom line.
Yes, that's right too, and of course, add a nomination to your awards list as well too. You've been nominated in the Mike Wagner Show Hall of Fame. You've been the best guest.
I appreciate it. What better way? You're the best. You're the best. So I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for having me on the show. This is the third time, and every time it gets better and better.
That's right, too. And, of course, I'm thinking about having you on during the holidays as well, too. You know, pandemic or no pandemic.
Yes.
And you play for us and share holiday stories and whatever else. So,
I can do that.
yeah, so we can talk about that later as well, too. And once again, Frank Piombo, songwriter, guitarist here on the Mike Wagner Show. A big thank you for your time once again. It's always a great pleasure to have you on. Once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact you, where can people purchase or listen to your music?
You want me to mention it again?
Go right ahead. It's like the more the better.
Oh, okay. Because I did it earlier, but anyway, the biggest sellers would be Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon. Just go to any of those three if you want to, and you can purchase the single tracks. You don't have to buy the whole album. So if you like one, in reference to the other five, just purchase that one. And if you purchase Green Lights and Rainbows, like I said, all the proceeds go to my brother-in-law Tony's foundation, which is the University of New Mexico Cancer Center Research Foundation. My brother-in-law Tony lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that's what he was taking care of.
That is amazing. Once again, Frank Piombo, a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic as always. Looking forward to having you again very soon. Keep yourself today, and we love you to have you back on sometime in 2020 and beyond. And as always, you've been fantastic and beyond our wildest dreams.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.